Goddess YouTube show. If you are new, welcome. Okay, before we get into some things, what I need you guys to do, I need you to tap that screen for me. I need you to give me a thumbs up because that puts me on the algorithm and that helps me. Rather you say in the video or not, or you just want to support me, that's how you can support me. And obviously, feel free to subscribe. That is always a good thing as well. Okay, so I want to put something on here as I'm talking to you guys. Let's put some frequency music on here. I wanted to talk about this Monique interview and Club Shay interview. I kind of was going to wait till the weekend, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and talk to you guys now. And oh, Mr. Midnight wants to make a cameo before we get into things. This is my baby, so y'all probably be hearing him through, the videos and stuff. So my little co-host right here. Say hi, Midnight. He's like, I am tired. I just ate. But anyways, so I decided to get on here. I am on my phone, obviously. So I wrote down some things. So it aired yesterday, and it was about, it was 2 hours and 55 minutes. It was almost 3 hours. I watched it from start to finish. I was definitely pleased with the interview. And shout out to Shannon Sharp because first of all, it's Black History Month, but I like the fact that it seems like a lot of these Black entertainers, they seem to be comfortable to go onto his platform and to talk about difficult conversations that we need to talk about in the Black community. And some people, they feel in some type of way that are in the journalist and podcast field and just YouTube field that, his background is, in NFL and sports and things like that, that he's kind of taken away from people that have been putting in the work and been along this path. But I just feel like he's doing it right. And he makes his guests feel safe and he's not being messy. Yes, what they might say is messy at the end of the day, but is it really messy if they are coming on there speaking their truth? And I just like the fact that it seems like the people that go onto his platform, they seem to be very vulnerable. And honestly, I feel like it's very refreshing to the podcast and interview field to have someone like Shannon, because it seems like these people really open up, and it's really important when you are a fan of someone and when you, because sometimes when they go to like mainstream media or they go to like a Breakfast Club or Joe Budden or even to a Tasha K and things like that, people are not always feeling comfortable to say exactly how they feel. They may give some push here and there, but they're not going to be 100% open. And I like the fact that that's very important when you are having difficult conversations, to have that. So I did take some notes on the interview. So I'm not going to talk about the entirety of the interview, but I am going to talk about some key points. I do got a lot of key points on the interview because can we start off and say that Monique has been saying the same story for years? She's been saying it for years. Y'all just wasn't ready to accept her message and to receive her message. And that's kind of one of the things that, my grandmother used to tell me all the time. Sometimes it's not about like what you say, it's how you say it. And sometimes when you are, hold on, why I didn't get a text that way? Shit. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. Sorry. So sorry. All right. So what I wanted to say is, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Sometimes it's the way you deliver your message. And I'm kind of happy that Monique spoke out on the fact that, she realizes that she's been saying the same things that Taraji P. Henson has been saying, but people were not ready to receive it because of her circumstances and the way that she comes off. So I'm kind of happy that she said that. Does that make it right? No, it doesn't. I feel like people should have been listening to her from the very beginning. I grew up on Monique. So I believe Monique from the very beginning. I'm not one of these flip-floppers that, all of a sudden, we enter in year 2024 and now, this is the year of a reckoning, as Cat Williams said on his interview. No, I actually believed her because Her story has been consistent for years. It's been consistent for years. And then people have said certain little things about Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, Kevin Hart, DL Hughley. I honestly never, I don't have any personal vendetta or any issues with any of those people, except for I've never really, DL Hughley has never rubbed me the right way. Like, I always felt like he had this tone towards like authoritative black women in a certain light that I just never liked, even as a little girl. Because I've mentioned in my previous lives before, I grew up on the kings and queens of comedy and the Def Jams and all of that, because my father, he was a huge fan of comedy, and that was one of the ways we bonded. So I never really cared for him, and I never thought he was really funny, to be honest. And I really just didn't like his aura. Like, I could feel it through the screen and TV, and I never really liked it. So, oh man, I should have went live on my computer, because Monique and DL actually went live. So maybe I'll get my other phone, because I did save the receipts, because y'all know I'm the receipt queen. I did save the receipts on what DL Hughley's response was to Monique's interview. Thank you. I appreciate it. And also Monique went live. So I haven't watched the live, so I don't know exactly everything that unfolded in the live, but I did save the clips from the blogs that have posted, some highlights, and I did save the actual live. So maybe this will be a part 2 to it. I don't know, because this is still trending and stuff like that. But I do want to get into the interview a little bit in depth. As I mentioned earlier, I did take some notes on some things that I wanted to unpack with you guys. So she mentioned along the interview about people disliking someone because of someone else. And I wanted to talk to my black and brown people specifically, actually, and even our allies, even our counterparts. I think we need to get into a habit. Just because you had a bad relationship with someone doesn't mean that you're going to have the same experience with that person. And just because you don't like that person doesn't mean that I have to have a problem with you or with them because you have a problem. Now, I get it. There are circumstances for certain things, i.e., let's just say, I don't know, you harm my family member. Maybe you offed my family member, or you abused my family member in that manner. Then, of course, I don't like you. But we need to get out of the habit, oh, I don't like them because so-and-so doesn't like them. And you don't even know if it's the truth or not. And it's so ironic that Monique, Shay dropped this video, and I made a short video about be careful getting involved in other people's business when you don't even know the true facts. And then if you find out the facts that your friend or your family member or acquaintance, they had you in some beef, and then they didn't even tell you the whole story, and come to find out that your person that is the person that's the perpetrator. So, just be a little bit more cautious of that. So I wanted to talk about that because, she mentioned along those lines, it was because of Tyler Perry, all these rumors started floating around allegedly about her being difficult, and, other people didn't, they took heed to that. And then, like, people going on to white media and talking about Monique and, exaggerating things or just saying blatant lies, right? And that has cost her, to be blackballed in Hollywood over something you got mad at her about. And when she broke down, why would anyone do anything for free? That doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense then. It don't make sense now. So I agree with Monique. Why am I about to promote something and that wasn't in my contract and you're not paying me for it? And it's not like a IOU type of situation. You're not promising me, okay, I'm about to have you in this amount of films, or I'm gonna endorse you on this. You're not having any of that, because I get in Hollywood they do deals like that as well. But she even explained that was not a situation, that was not a case for the situation. Okay. I want to also shout out T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison is one of my idols. I love T.S. Madison. Monique spoke about how T.S. Madison came to her defense. She heard the recording of Tyler Perry allegedly lying about the situation, and she brought her on her platform and gave her a platform and, gave her light so people could hear her story. And I really like that because T.S. Madison gets a lot of flack about quote unquote not defending black women when T.S. Madison actually does a lot of stuff for black women and advocates for black women if you really are a T.S. Madison fan. So I did like that. Also, I like the fact that I think she said Barbara Walters, turned down the fact that Monique's family tried to get an interview to expose Monique at a very vulnerable time, and she turned her down because this was during the time of like her Oscar nomination, and then essentially she won an Oscar. But then Oprah took that opportunity to allegedly be vindictive and have her parents on there, or her abusers essentially on her show, even though she knew the situation and the hurt and the trauma that she had confided in her about. So, can we be honest here? When she broke down the situation, it really sounds like Oprah has some kind of jealousy towards Monique because of the opportunities and the climb to fame and the likeness people had for her. So it seems like, in my opinion, allegedly, that Oprah and maybe Tyler Perry and maybe some others, they kind of did character assassination so she could get off of that high streak she was having. And that's what I got from that. And y'all let me know if y'all feel that way. But I definitely got from that. I got that situation. So one thing, okay, that was one topic. And then I did write a note. I said I love the relationship that she has with her husband. I don't know, for whatever the reason why everyone always talks about her situation with her husband. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes, it's okay to call your significant other daddy or mommy and things like that, but it is a little bit awkward when she does refer to him daddy in like a formal setting. Like, I feel like that is something in a more intimate setting. But again, I love Monique. I'm going to support her in any way possible. But I like the fact that he stands behind her. I like the fact that they have a working relationship. I like the fact that it seems like they have open communication. They defend each other. They always support each other. He's always around. And honestly, I feel like that's a beautiful relationship that they have. Do they have their problems? Yes, they have their problems. But I like the fact that they show up for each other, and they are kind of an example of holding up black love and black marriage, and, just supporting one another and things like that. So I do respect that. Now, as far as what did I write about Kevin Hart? Oh, the Kevin Hart situation, how she said he helped her and her family out when they were in need. He gave them money, and then they eventually paid him back plus interest. But then his publicist or somebody, okay, got in the way, and she hasn't spoke to him ever since. So it'll be really interesting to see what Kevin Hart's side of the story is. I'll be really interested to hear his side of the story, if he's even going to speak up on his side of the story. But I just feel like us as black people, we need to support each other. We need to not like blackball each other. We need to seek to understand, and we need to give each other, grace, and really just work things out that could be worked out. Like, why is it that, oh, I don't like you, so now I'm about to stop your bag? I just feel like you could like someone even if they're in the same space. I mean, you could not like someone even if they work in the same industry as you, and just mind your business and leave them alone. Why are you going out your way to stop someone's bag and to harm them, essentially? That doesn't make any type of sense for me. I feel like that's not godly, like that's inhumane, and I feel like, honestly, that's horrible. You got horrible character to do that. So that's how I feel about that. Now, Monique did insinuate that the only way, Tyler Perry needs to speak up, he needs to apologize, And also, too, he needs to compensate her for all the money that she has lost in between the alleged lie up until now. And honestly, once she broke it down, at first I was like, well, now wait a minute, Monique. Just because you were making 2 million, I'm not sure if she said she was making 2 million a year or 2 million per project she was doing. But just because you had that doesn't mean you would have had so many offers. You know what I'm saying? But when she went more in detail in it in an interview, I was like, okay, yeah, I agree with her. Tyler Perry, if he did that and he lied and these people have heard this recording and he essentially started these rumors allegedly, then yes, he should compensate her and her family for it because they lost money. They were struggling at one point, you know? And let's be clear, it's not like Monique is getting a whole bunch of offers right now. So it's still definitely still hurting and harming her family. So I agree with her on that. Now, as far as bringing up the Lee Daniels thing, I like the fact that well, her and Lee Daniels, they kind of had like that situation really hurt her the most because they were best friends. And I like the fact that he owned up his stuff. He apologized in public. They're able to work together. And that's what friendship is about. That's what, you know, coming together and really understanding each other is about. Like, so I like the fact she was able to forgive him and they were able to work it out at the end of the day. So I really like that. But I do wish she stopped bringing him up because your issue isn't with Lee anymore. Like your issue is still with Oprah and Tyler. So I think we need to just lay the Lee Daniels aside. Like to me that doesn't really apply, but it is a part of this whole situation, right? So, but me personally, I just feel like he doesn't need to be in the light anymore because he did what he needed to do. Now, talking about the Parkers, I am totally with Monique when she says that they need to pay them. They definitely need to pay them because they are still syndicated, I believe. And I saw them on Netflix. I don't know if they're still on Netflix and things like that. You cannot tell me, you know, I grew up on the Parkers. You cannot tell me that the Parkers did not make a lot of money. If the Parkers wasn't making a lot of money, why was it syndicated? Why is it on streaming services? They're making money off of it. So pay these black women what's her name? Cortez Vaughn or whatever. Pay her and Monique the money that they and everybody that was on that show, Mr. Professor Overvy, everybody that's still alive. Because I think isn't the best friend, didn't she pass away? I think the best friend passed away or whatever. Or is that Moesha? I don't even remember. But I know she was in between the shows, that lady, that actress. I don't know. If y'all remember, y'all let me know. But they do need to pay the ladies, and it is what it is. Like, come on now. Like, stop playing with people. Um, the shadiness she said about Miss Tiffany Haddish. The shade she said about Miss Tiffany Haddish. I was like, I know you didn't, Miss Monique. Talking about if you had a husband like mine, maybe you wouldn't have those 2 DUIs. And I love my sweet baby. I love my sweet, beautiful sister. How you said that so nicely, but cut that girl down so classy. I was gagging for my pearls when she said that. So I agree with Monique though. Why are you speaking about somebody you don't even know? Why are you speaking about her husband? First of all, why are people always attacking her husband? That's what I want to know. Why are they always attacking her husband? And secondly, I never felt like it was somebody's place that doesn't have a significant other and especially isn't married to talk about another married couple or a married situation. I just felt like that's out of line. And honestly, I feel like if Tiffany really had people around her that had their best interests at heart, maybe she wouldn't be doing this stuff, you know, being caught up in the things that she needed to do. Granted, can't no one make you do something you don't want to do, but I feel, you know, I kind of agree with Monique. I mean, that's just common sense with anybody, right? So I agree with Monique on that. As far as now, I did make a note here. I know Dave Chappelle said like when Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay, he was like, why was he only talking about our black um Hollywood people? I just feel like These are the people that he has issues with. I can I be honest with y'all? It's Black History Month. I just feel like in order for Black people to overcome things, it first starts with us. So until we get it right as a community, we cannot expect our counterparts to get it right. If we don't expose and heal and correct the damage that we do towards one another, we can never get to a unified front. And that's why a lot of our counterparts are able to be more successful, i.e., the Latino race, i.e., white people, Jewish people, it just doesn't matter. Asian people. It's because at the end of the day, they don't expose in a manner where it's like detrimental. They really handle it in a more professional, classy way, and they move accordingly. So it really starts with us first, and then we set the tone for how others are going to treat us. So that's how I feel about that situation. And I kind of agree with Dave Chappelle is, come on now, like there's more than just Black people that is harming us, right? You got all types of ethnic groups that is harming us, or stopping a bag, or gatekeepers and things like that. So we do need to call them out to the forefront. Although Monique did call out Lionsgate, she didn't just call out in studios, she didn't just call out Black Hollywood, our Black Hollywood elite. So that's the difference between the Cat Williams and Monique situation. So I agree with that. Now, I also like the fact how she set standards for herself. And I feel like if you put in the work and you earned all like these prestigious awards, your value should go up. If she has all of these awards, she's been on a great stand up great stand up comedies, she's done so many films, she's done TV shows. Why would she just accept any type of treatment? Why should she accept any type of pay? And that's the problem with Hollywood in general. And I don't need to go too much in detail because I'm going to have another video with you guys breaking down like the Black pay gap, between, Black people and white people and just other ethnic groups. And then also breaking it down very deeper to how the Black man dollar is different from the Black woman's dollar. So that's a whole different story. But I definitely agree with Monique. Why are you trying to pay me less than someone that doesn't have the credentials as me? I put in the work, so why am I not getting the same pay, or if not higher? Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. So I agree with Monique. Why would I accept certain things, and why would I accept certain working conditions? I put in my dues. I don't need to be, in some trailers blowing up and things like that. I don't need to be on a set when the food is horrible. I need to be taken care of. So I agree with her on that. It's the same thing for if I went to fucking college. How come someone that doesn't have a college degree is making the same money as me or higher? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to complain about that, and I'm going to advocate to have what I feel like is right. I didn't waste all these times learning things and spending time and perfecting things for me to just accept any type of treatment and any type of pay. That doesn't make any sense, and I'll never encourage anyone to do that. You advocate for what you feel like is right. If you feel like someone has wronged you, always have a receipt, child, because y'all know I'm the receipt queen. Always have receipts, but always advocate for yourself. If you feel like you are worth something, and you darn sure better be able to back that up, advocate for yourself for that. Do it in a respectful manner. Do it in a manner that they're going to be receptive about it. But advocate for yourself. Don't just take anything. So, Monique also talked about the fact that certain things that Taraji did, and she was speaking about along the press tour, for The Color Purple, talking about how is it that you guys were handpicked, but you auditioned. If you were handpicked, that means you don't audition. And for someone of her caliber, why would you do that anyway? Like, I've been in countless movies, I've been in TV, I've done this, I've done that. what, I'm not auditioning for anything. So I like the fact that Monique says, I do offers, I don't audition. And she shouldn't audition. She put in the work, she did what she needs to do. And that this is the thing. We need to protect our legends better, because it's like, oh, just because they're not like so high on social media, they don't do all that, they shouldn't be protected. They paved the way so us younger generations can have it easier. And let's not act like her impact wasn't a huge impact, because it was. And I just wish we would respect her and we would give her flowers before it's too late. And people in Hollywood needs to make it right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get my other phone. So bear with me, because y'all just gonna have to watch it on my phone, because I am not gonna stream in my little studio area. So come back over here. Ooh, once you start getting old, things start hurting. Shoot, you can't sit a certain way for a long time. Gotta stretch. All right, give me a second while my phone starts up, and then I'm gonna show y'all the receipts. But again, I know I'm not in my little studio, but I am going to show y'all the receipts, because y'all know I like to have the receipts on deck, child. Okay? So bear with me. How do y'all like the video? Did y'all see the interview? I hope y'all saw the interview. Oh shit, DL is still going at it? Okay. Yikes. All kind of stuff is showing down my timeline, so bear with me, babies, about this Monique stuff that I feel like. Okay, let me show y'all. So this is T.S. Madison. Let me read to y'all, because Monique shouted out T.S. Madison during the review. So she said, I just got done watching this whole interview with Monique in Club Shay, and I'm still in tears. As a black transgender woman, I often get skipped, omitted, and plain just left out of the conversation for things I've done in culture or for moving the needle, and it hurts. And it makes me understand how our powerful queer leaders from the past was left off of the civil rights movement contributions and conversations. But this right here made. Thank you again, Monique, for putting this on the floor and giving me my flowers. But most of all, thank you for letting me show you how true friendship and friends hold each other up and accountable. I love you, and Lee Daniels. So that is from Miss T.S. Madison, who was mentioned. Now, let me go ahead and show some more receipts for y'all. What is Nicki Minaj doing right here? Hold on. I'm going to just say this, because why am I getting all the tea on this phone and not on the other one? It's interesting, because I'm signed in on both of these phones, like how the algorithm is. Okay. So this was D.L. Hughley. I don't know if he did this live right after Monique did her live with Club Shay, Shannon Sharp, but he went off. Hold on.
It's getting messier and messier. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a waist set. And so Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she says she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, huh? Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints. I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who, as a comedian, talks as much shit about everybody else as she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that. But what you will find is Monique talking shit about some alleged contract dispute we had. Look at the ticket. It says D.L. Hughley, then Monique. She knows the story. But what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was molested, and Monique brought that shit out and told the world that I allowed my daughter to be raped in front of me. The lying motherfucker. She knows she was lying. And it only stopped when everybody from my family checked her. It's interesting. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? You won't ever see her with her family, videos with her children or grandchildren, because nobody fucks with me. How do you have sweet babies when your own babies don't fuck with you? How do you love us for real when there's no evidence of anybody loving you for real, except your daddy, who you apparently have to pay? And FYI, daughters are paid for by daddies, not daddies who get paid by their daughters. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes. Monique, if she'd have spent as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history. Because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances. You never see her being a human being. You never see her being sweet and warm to people, except when she's using it to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, shit starts. Everywhere she goes. How is it that nobody fucks with you, not even your family? How do you, well, I was on the road, get it. I get it every goddamn week. Look at my schedule versus yours. See how much I'm going. And I still manage to have a relationship that I cherish with my children. Can you say the same? You can't. Because all you do is talk about your grievances and who did you wrong. There's a reason you're by yourself. There's a reason you got to pay a man to love you. It's sad. There's an old adage that says you can't buy love. It's a shame, Monique, that you probably always will have to.
Yikes. So that's what D.L. Hughley said. And I don't know. He just always... Shout out to Bernie Mac. I forgot the fact that she bought out Bernie Mac. And it seems like Bernie Mac was a stand-up dude. And honestly, he's my favorite. He was my favorite comedian. Well, he still is my favorite comedian. But, you know, Bernie Mac has passed away. And, well, been passed away for a while. So that was very intense. It's no secret that D.L. Hughley and her, they had beef for years and it's been ongoing. But, you know, as I mentioned before, I just feel like his spirit is just evil. But he does have some points. I have seen Monique show her family from time to time, but he does have some points. Like, you don't really see her with her family like that. So I understand the whole mom situation because of the trauma. And then like her firstborn or whatever, they have a strained relationship because she, you know, put her career before that baby. So I get that. I just feel like children should be left out of the situation. Granted, you know, Monique did kind of stop it. Yeah, bye-bye. Monique did kind of started bringing up D.L. Hughley's daughter's trauma. I just feel like you shouldn't be opening up wounds, especially when someone has been assaulted. So I agree with him on that. She should have just kept the situation just about him. I'm sorry, guys. This piercing, since I got it, I'm just like, it looks like it's keloid right there. Anyways, it just bothers me. But yeah, that's how I feel about that situation. I feel like that was just messy, but hey, he has a right to respond. So here's some more receipts. This is like Monique talking about the DL Hughley and DJ Envy and Charlemagne and Just Hilarious situation. So
our brother, DL Hughley. And we are firm believers on what is right and what is wrong. Yes. So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. Mm-hmm. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what? Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, it is what it is. And I said, DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and DL Hughley said on that conversation. And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our brother, DL Hughley. And we, attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point when we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview. Yes. So it was inaccurate that a cease and desist had to be given. However, that was the next step, and that's what Monique remembered, because when I discussed it with her, we said that would be the next step. But to DL's credit, at that moment, when it had escalated, that's when he decided to shut it down. However, that is a bit different from how it seemed to have been communicated, whereby on the phone, they were having a conversation, and it was kumbaya. Though he never used those words, kumbaya, it did not end attorney involved with her being under the impression that this was going to be resolved and shut down. So we wanted to make that clear out of love and respect for Brother DL. And despite all the commentary that he gave, with all the crunches she be doing, the captain's in the front. I do. And I do. Jump. I'm a sneak snacker, baby. And she doesn't sneak when she snaps. Okay. Hey. But nonetheless, we wanted to be clear, because at the end of the day, we black folks in this world of entertainment. And there was a level of harshness in his return that seemed a little bit exaggerated for the moment. And we wanted to make it clear, and I think Monique, with her being under the impression that this was going to be resolved and shut down. So we wanted to make that clear out of love and respect for Brother DL. And despite all the commentary that he gave, you know, when I watched DL say, she went after my wife, she went after my daughters, I want to really be clear who I went after so that there's no confusion here. When I was on stage, when I'm on stage and we are performers, we are performing to the audience in front of us. When I was on that stage and I said it must be hard to perform oral sex, but differently, okay, on a coward, that had nothing to do with Mrs. Hughley. That insult was directed straight to you, DL. That had nothing to do with your wife. That was straight to you. So it felt like you were trying to pass it off as if I was going after your wife. When it comes to your daughter, to the baby that you did a post about, you did an interview about, I didn't do that interview. I simply reposted, when I watched what you said. So when you say, Monique, you went after my daughter, that's untrue, DL. I posted what you said. And then when you said
when you were really going for it with your shades on, and you said, Monique said, I stood by and watched my daughter be raped. D.L. Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that. I never said that. And I want to be a little clear about something else. Never would I try to do anything to harm any of your babies, because we got babies too. So never would I try to do anything to harm your children. However, what I was saying to your daughter and to the other daughters out there, I know what it's like for your daddy to know you've been touched and he not protect you, because my daddy did the same thing. That's what you, that whole point was, but I was showing why I would call you a coward, brother. I don't think it's brave that you didn't protect your baby. So when I said what I was saying, let me be clear to you, D.L. Hughley, it had nothing to do in reference to your family, and you know that. Now, when you were speaking and you were going off, and you said, what did you say? She was so offended by the game we play, but you didn't say what the offense was. And that's the part for me that is disheartening, that you continue to try to trick and smoke and mirror our people. If you're going to say it all the way through. When you say family is sacred, you are absolutely right, baby. You're right. But when you say would my husband rather, and you co-sign your team of people doing that, well, isn't my husband sacred? That whole point was, but I was. If we come together, we're going to win just by default. So at the end of the day, when you get to talking about how Monique is not loved, and this, that, and the other, that's your perception. But what I'll say is, it is due to the love that we have that we're able to love those that say things that could be construed as hurtful, but we understand that the old saying of hurt people hurt people. So we don't take what you say personally, brother. And again, it's nothing but love, in addition to the fact I'm Q-Sci-Fi. Just like you, except I've been in about 29 going on 30 years. I'm not going to argue with you, frat. Ain't nothing but love. So we wanted to extend that to you and let you know what it is. And again, if you ever want to speak, let's have a real conversation. If we come together, we're going to win. She's a beautiful asset sitting in that seat. And she's going to bring something very special to that show. And I know the community is agreeing with what I'm saying right now, because what that sister did when she sat in that seat, she was able to get y'all to see something and understand something that nobody could get you to see for years. For years. And just that baby sitting there with nothing but honesty and said, no, we got to deal with this, y'all. We got to deal with this, y'all. You don't understand what that baby's bringing to that show. Because what she's not going to be bringing is, let's knock down, drag them out. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And because you babies owned it and you apologize, we love you. And we loved you then. Not mad. And want y'all to win. That's all. That's all. So if we... She's a beautiful...
And this is when Just Hilarious, she insisted for Charlemagne and DJ Envy to apologize, and they did apologize. So yeah. Now DL just did something, so I'm gonna let y'all listen to it. My hand is getting tired holding this, so we just gonna listen to the audio.
All right, I'm taking time to respond to Monique again. She made another greasy ass video with her daddy. We kind of relitigating some of the stuff she said on Club Shay Shay, where she talked about how she was on the show and somebody, they played a game, Would You Rather, and I guess she felt like they insulted her husband's sexuality, which is interesting because she can always talk shit about everybody else's sexuality. But I guess her husband's sex, he's off limits. But a hit dog will bark unless his mouth is full. But she talked about, well, she didn't actually call her lawyer. Who the fuck would be afraid of your lawyer? Your lawyer, you mean the lawyer that did your contract? That lawyer, the lawyer from the firm of Negro from Ghetto Got Him and Gone, that lawyer? Who the fuck afraid of him? He couldn't get your name right on the ticket. He gonna get it right on a legal document. It didn't happen because we decided it shouldn't happen. You didn't need to, because we respect people. We don't have to do things for clicks. They took it off because you asked me to, because I respected you at the time. You also talked about how I disrespect you on so many platforms. But you have this impeccable memory where you can tell to the degree, well, who did what to you and why and what happened, where you were, but you can't pull up one time on any platform that I said anything about you at all, because you know you're lying. You got that piece of paper and that big ass memory, but you can't pull one up. My biggest mistake is saying yes to you. I should have said no when you came on you couldn't come on my radio show. I should have said no that I wasn't playing those dates with you. As a matter of fact, almost anybody who says yes to you at some point is in this milieu with you. Almost anybody. So I would suggest anybody out there, you can say yes to drugs, but say no to Monique. You talked about how my children, the families are off limits. They weren't when you were running across Vegas. I mean, up the stage in Detroit. They weren't when you talking shit on social media. When you got your ass whipped and your tickets dropped, then they became off limits. But let's do this. Let's decide that you will treat my children like you treat yours, like you don't know them, invisible, like you have no relationship with them, like you're estranged, like you're unfamiliar, like you don't know them. You also intimated that I was coward. You know what I'd never do? I would never let my woman take care of me. I would never let my woman.
Woo, he said him below the belt.
I would never let my woman has to ask another man for money. I'd never do that. Can your old man say the same? He loves you. Of course, he gotta say that. You claim him on your taxes. He's a dependent. He's sitting there with you right now, and everything, because it ain't like he does anything else. But you never address the salient point. I said that if you spent as much time writing your Netflix special as you did arguing about getting it, it wouldn't have been trash. It was. I didn't say it. I defy anybody out there. Stop listening to me. Watch it. Read the reviews. Read the reviews. You begged for something. You made valid points that women are underpaid, that they're not valued. That's absolutely right. So you would think that when you got a chance to do something that you could argue for, you'd be up for the challenge, but you shit the bed because you never are ready for it, because all you ever do is complain about what you don't have. You're never ready for the moment because you're always living in the past. I said it. If you spend half of your time doing as opposed to talking about who didn't do for you and what they did for you, you'd be a lot further along. You wouldn't be evicted. You wouldn't be working for your man. You wouldn't be asking other comics for money. So you got all the ingredients. Take that piece of paper that you're running down the list with, and that pen that you got, and that daddy sitting next to you, and do what you can't do what you never do. Write a fucking joke.
It's clear to say I don't think that situation is ever going to clear up. So I'm going to read some of these comments based off of this audio I just let y'all listen to. D.L. Hughley just did this. Paradise Paris says the way he has so much unprovoked aggression behind her is so telling. Somebody also said, I am Brianna said, don't call him sassy. Y'all forgot she used his daughter's trauma to insult him, what, last year or the year before because of something a promoter did. When she did that, that's when I was like, wow, Mo is like that. They haven't been good for a long time, and I knew a response was going to come. Plus, Cap vouched for DL, by the way. He said he's one of the real ones. Somebody says, sir, if you want to get on Club Shay Shay, just say that because this was so unnecessary. Another person said, I don't like his energy. He seems so evil to me. Wasn't I just telling y'all that? I do not like his energy. I've never liked his energy, even from a kid. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, he scares me. Like, I would not want to be in a room by myself with him. He just really intimidates me, and I don't get intimidated by people easily at all. It takes a lot for me to be intimidated. Somebody said, treat him like he did his daughter when she went to him, that who was supposed to protect her, and told him what his friend did, and he dismissed it. Sassy sissy. That's what somebody said. He's really in his feelings. She must have been telling the truth. Somebody said, when are this mad to go back and forth with you. They lying or was dead wrong. So they hit the low blows. I believe Mo, and she's not bitter. She's hurt by people she thought were her friends, period. Dio got some nerve when he said he was happy his outside child he made outside of his marriage died. I would be ashamed to never call out another person's kids. Am I the only one that skips his parts of Kings of Comedy? I never thought he was funny either. I'm glad somebody said that. I never thought he was funny. This is the most press he's gotten in years. Dio must stand for down low because his panties are in a bunch. Ooh, y'all just too much. Y'all are too much. Now let me read some of these comments that people said off the audio Monique and her husband did. You know, just to be fair, to get a perspective. Um, Someone says now Shaq being petty. Brittany Nicole says it's strange how many people have no idea what a husband and wife looks like in real time. Her husband not overstepping, that's his wife. He's supposed to defend her to the death. And if a man disrespects her, he steps in, period. Let a man handle a man and respect a woman who allows him to do so. The way her husband stands, this is another one. Mean got the juice. The way her husband stands beside her and has her back, y'all not used to seeing that. And that's what I call nasty work. I'm actually like that because people are not used to that. You have to be married to understand what she has sitting next to her. Absolutely. This how my daddy had my mother's back for 40 years. He was going to war about her. A lot of y'all never witnessed that before, and I feel bad for you. So this is actually a good one by Manny Millennial Mouth. It says, first, y'all mad Jay-Z spoke up for Beyonce at the Grammys. Now y'all mad Monique's husband is speaking for her against another man. Do y'all know what a marriage is? Somebody said, all right, now let's get Orlando Brown on Club Shay Shay. Uh, I just want to know, what is the goal? What does our sweet sister Monique want at this point? Well, if you watch the full interview, she told you she wants her reparations, and she don't want to be blackballed no more. She wants to be back. She wants to do mainstream TV. She wants to do main movies. She wants to do comedy, but she just announced anyway that she's going to be going on tour with Cat Williams, so that's really good, on his Dark Matters tour. And also too, if you guys watch the interview, she said when she did the movie, is it This Christmas or whatever, um well, Will Packer, how the trailers blew up. Well, I got the receipts, child, because she posted it. That's the receipt. That's the trailers that blew up. Now that's a little bit alarming to me because I'm like, dang, did they have them trailers there? What if them actors was really in there? Because, allegedly music executives be doing that. Like the record labels be doing that. They be having life insurance policies on their talent. I'm wondering if they be doing that for like actors too, because what's the coincidence? What if somebody was in there? Could have been like a money grab, because she said allegedly, the workers or whatever, they told him allegedly that the trailer smelled like gas, and then luckily nobody was in their trailers, but the trailers blew up, and she said she don't think nobody from like production asked them were they okay. And I thought that was really alarming. I was like, is she whistleblowing? Like, were they trying to allegedly set them up to unalive them so they could get like insurance policies? Did y'all peep that tea? I peeped that tea. She said it without saying it. I mean, how you gonna let your trailers blow up and you don't even ask your talent? You don't even ask if anybody got hurt or anything like that, and then you walking around all casually because whoever it was telling you the trailer smelled like gas, and you over here just pushing it off, and then the things blow up. Like, What? That's crazy. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. I want to know what your thoughts are. Did you like the interview? Did you not like the interview? Do you feel like DL Hughley is showing his booty right now because, you know, he keep going live and he just proving Monique right about his hostility and things like that. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this situation, okay? And I got some other videos for y'all that I need to do. I didn't realize YouTubing is really draining. Like when you talk about like hot topics and things like that, it is really draining. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Probably tomorrow I'll be on here. Definitely over the weekend I'll be on here because I got a lot of content I need to record for y'all. So I'll see you guys soon, and make sure you hit that like button, please. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. All right, I'll see you guys soon. I love you.